Yes, hello. Could I ask you to introduce yourself?
I'm Ossi Martikainen, member in the Committee of the Regions European Union advisory body.
And we're talking about TTIP today, so can you tell me, what do you think is the best benefit of TTIP?
Well, it's difficult to say at this point when the negotiations is going on, but the main importance lies in having clearer rules for the companies, for example European SMEs, to go to the markets in US and vice versa. So the most important thing is to have better international rules for trade in different areas.
Tonight we've been discussing what TTIP will mean for Europe's dinner tables. How do you see the benefit of TTIP for consumers when they go to their supermarkets? Do you think diversity of products will come through?
Well, it can mean more diversity of products, but the negotiation on agriculture and food issues are just in the beginning of their beginning, so we can't say anything sure yet, but of course it's possible that people, the consumers, will have a better knowledge about the origin of products and the methods which are used when producing them, and this has to be the aim of the European Union, that we have transparency and a good knowledge for consumers. This is what I think the European Union should aim to in these negotiations.
And what about European farmers? Do you think they can stand the competition from the Americans in a transatlantic trade agreement?
Well, we have quite different kinds of agricultural policies in Europe. We believe in multifunctional agriculture with its social, cultural, economical and ecological aspects, and the agricultural policy is not at stake in the negotiations. It's the quality and standards of the products. So in short term, I think it wouldn't be a chaos or a catastrophe for European farmers, but in the long run, of course, we have to take care that the European agriculture is competitive, and I think we need clear rules for some key questions like GMOs, like hormone beef, like antibiotics and so on, and this is the question also of the consumer safety. So it's in the long run it can be some effect, but in the beginning I don't see any very bad causes.
We've talked a lot about ISDS today as well, Investor-State Settlement Disputes, and you told a great anecdote earlier this evening. I wonder if you can recount that for us.
Well, there's a company I know very well because it's a company founded by a relative of mine, producing loudspeakers, and in its early years the company was opening export to United States and had a local agent there, and once this agent wanted to take a number of products and sell them into his own benefit, so the company lost money, and when this case was solved in that time, it was done in a local court of justice in US, and that meant that this company lost a lot of money, and there were no common rules, no arbitration system where a small company from Finland could be, so to say, capable to solve the problem. So it was just left to the local court of justice, and for these kind of problems, especially for SMEs, it is important to have clear rules for arbitration when there are disputes.
One final question for you. A lot of people are complaining that they don't have access to this very high-level process of negotiations. What is your advice to the European citizen who wants to know more about TTIP, wants to get more involved with negotiations and the outcomes?
I would say that it's people's right to know more and ask more for transparency on the negotiations. But I say also that you have to be very patient, because in this kind of very large negotiations there is nothing is really ready when everything has been negotiated through, and after that we only know what is the result of negotiations, and after that it goes to the political process. So there are many complicated things, and it's not only the will of governments that everything cannot be published at the moment, because there really is not so much material on many issues. So it should be transparent, but also the people should be should have patience to wait for the real results. So maybe there is needed more discussion in civil societies between governments and people. This is what I advise, and only in the end of the negotiations we can know what we got.
Thank you very much, Ossi.